Hey, it's Angie with News OK. I'm here with Becky Varner, who is our Recipe for Health columnist for the Oklahoman. And today you've all heard of pork chops and you've heard of sweet and sour pork, but what about combining the two? That's what we're doing. It's sweet and sour pork chops. All right, tell us about what this recipe is.
Okay, well, first of all, besides that, it's a lighter version.
Yeah.
We have reduced the fat and the calories.
Okay.
We're using really lean pork chops that we've trimmed. And let me show you here, Angie, what we've actually done. We've got 4 pork chops and we've trimmed all the visible fat. And you can see there's very little marbling as well. So we're using lean pork chops and we've trimmed the visible fat.
Okay.
And those are the first 2 things that we want to do to help lower the fat content. Plus, the original recipe, these were fried first, and there's no reason to need to do that, so we eliminated fat that way.
Wow, that really would. Okay.
It makes a big difference. And this is a simple, quick recipe. We're going to start by combining our salt and pepper.
Okay. And just is that a couple teaspoons?
We actually are using a half a teaspoon of salt and 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper. And we've got 2 stalks of celery chopped, and you just want to chop it in pieces about like so. Yeah. We're going to add that. We have 2 cups of onion, and again, just 1/4 to 1/2 inch little pieces. And we'll add all of that. And a cup of green pepper.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add 1 can of stewed tomatoes. Okay. And we'll mix all of this up, and this is our first step. And
that looks hard to mix up.
Well, yeah, you just kind of have to turn everything, but it's easier to mix up in a bowl than it is to put it in the crock pot and mix it in there, because we've got our pork chops in our crock pot, and we just want to be able to add all of this on top. Okay. So, and we're ready to do that. We've got this well mixed, and so we'll just pour all of this in. These are our vegetables. And Angie, I'm going to go ahead and turn our crock pot on. We can either cook this on high for 3 to 4 hours or on low for about 7 to 8 hours. So if someone wanted to put it on in the morning before they left to go to work, they could let it cook all day long.
There you go, on low.
And even if it were cooked a little longer than that, it would be fine.
Okay.
Okay. Now then, you'll notice I'm not even going to change bowls because I only want to have to wash one, and this is a great recipe to be able to do that with. We're going to combine a 1/2 cup of ketchup. Get this in here, and this is where we get our sweet and sour.
Yeah, and you can't have pork chops without ketchup.
We've got our apple cider vinegar. Okay. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and this is, of course, where we get our little bit of sweet.
Yes, I love brown sugar.
We've got our Worcestershire sauce, and then we're using the low-fat beef broth, and this is 99% fat-free. Okay. We actually need a cup of it, but it's divided. For this part of the recipe, we're using a 1/2 cup, and we'll use the other 1/2 cup a little bit later. Oh, wow. Okay. So this is a 1/2 cup of beef broth that's defatted, and then we've got a teaspoon of lemon juice. And Angie, I always like to use fresh lemon juice, and it's so easy you can just take a little lemon juicer like this, cut your lemon in half, and that's how I got our lemon juice.
Nice.
So makes it real simple.
Definitely.
We're going to mix this all together. Okay. And pour this over our vegetables. And put the lid on.
Wow.
That is it.
That is great.
Isn't that great?
Because I was thinking, wow, that's a lot of ingredients, but really it goes pretty fast.
It's very simple. Yeah. And we're going to look, today we'll cook this for the 3 to 4 hours on high, and we'll actually cook it for about 3.5 hours, and then we're going to add our beef broth mixed with cornstarch to thicken it. Let it cook just a bit longer then.
Well, let's let it cook.
Okay, great.
Okay, and after 3.5 hours, what do we do?
We've got our remaining 1/2 cup of defatted beef broth, and I'm going to add my cornstarch to that.
How much cornstarch?
And we're using a 1/2 cup, I believe, 1/4 of a cup, I'm sorry. It's a 1/2 cup of the beef broth and a 1/4 of a cup of the cornstarch. And one of the things that people need to know, Angie, when you're mixing cornstarch with a liquid, it must be either cold or room temperature. If you mix it with hot liquid, it will lump on you. Okay,
really?
So people need to know that. Now look how easy that's dissolved. Yeah. And that's all we need to do. Now I'm going to take the lid off of this. Well, thank you. And we'll stir this in.
Looks good.
And let this cook for about another 30 minutes. I just want to mix this in with the liquid so that it will thicken.
Now, why do we want to wait for this?
We're letting this cook, and it will thicken. Thank you. You can go ahead and put the lid on. Cornstarch, we're using it as a thickener so that what we have really is more like gravy.
There we go.
Instead of just liquid.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll let it cook about 30 more minutes.
All right. And looks like this is our final product.
It is, Angie. We've got our pork chops, and then I would recommend serving some type of a starch. We're serving mashed potatoes today, and by the way, those are made with skim milk. And,
there you go.
That keeps the fat content down. You could serve rice with this. That would be very nice. Even some type of pasta would be good. And you could serve, if you were using pasta, you could serve the pork chops on a bed of pasta.
Oh, wow, nice.
And then we've added a salad to this. And remember that when you're using a variety of different lettuces and greens, you get a wider variety of nutrients. The darker the color, the more nutrient value.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That is good to know. That is very good to know. So if you want more on this wonderful recipe, I can't wait to try it. Check out Becky's column, and it is the recipe for health in the Oklahoman. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Angie.